Dallas McCullough of Trinity Valley Electric Cooperative was standing outside his home in Eustis, Texas, when he heard an automobile accident. He and his family members found the wreck, helped calm the driver, and rendered aid until an emergency crew arrived.
I pretty much remember it like it was yesterday. I had my daughter's birthday party. I had some friends come down, some family. It was probably around 10:30ish. We was finishing up, was putting everything up, and then we heard a loud screeching sound. Next thing we know, it got louder. I didn't think of nothing. We dropped what we was doing, got in the cars, and we went straight to the accident. When I got in my car, I went by myself first, and my uncle, my dad, my sister-in-law jumped in a truck together. Come to a stop sign, I went right towards the bridge where I thought it might be, and they went left. As I ran the corner, that's when I actually barely caught the glimpse of the headlights on, buried off in the woods. Then somebody else pulled up beside me. I told them to call 911, and I actually called my dad and my uncle and them, told them where I was at so they can come help me. Guys overturned his truck. It was upside down on top of a tree. It was pretty bad. When I first got there, you could only see the passenger side, and it was crushed completely down. It was in some pretty thick brush, so once my uncle got there, we actually pried our way through the front of the brushes, through the front side of the truck, and then came through with the flashlight. And that's when we noticed the man's arm kind of hanging out, and we seen he was still in the vehicle. His head was kind of smashed between a tree and the door. There was so much pressure there. He was in a lot of pain. He started yelling, "Help, help, help." It was definitely tense. Luckily, there was just enough we could pop the door handle, and it just gave him just enough we can actually slide actually my uncle took his t-shirt off and we slid it underneath his head, try to ease some of the pain on his ear until other help got there. We noticed we couldn't do nothing too much, so what we could do is, sit there and pray with him, just trying to help him through it, trying to get him to calm down. My sister-in-law was actually telling him, take deep breaths, breathe, don't panic. We're trying to do what we can just until the ambulance and everybody else get there. Once they got there, they actually moved us out, and then they had to use the jaws of life to get him out, care flight him out, and then they actually let us go ahead and go to the house after that point. I don't think if we'd have heard that, nobody would have found him. It was too dark, it was too far from the woods, and it was pretty bad.
The continued support that they gave him while the rescue was being taken place, waiting for EMS and emergency services to come and help get him out. Them being the very first ones on that scene and reacting the way they did is just a remarkable amount of character for those individuals.
They said that he was okay. He just got bruised up real bad. His right ear that was on the tree, it was actually chewed up from where the tree and the car was just putting so much pressure on there. I think personally that, it was act of God, because if we wouldn't have found him and heard it, because he was so far off into the woods on top of the tree, I do believe he would have bled out and, he would have never made it. But he made a full recovery. He's in good shape now. He walks a little slower, but other than that, he's good that I know of. I know we're supposed to be meeting up with him pretty soon, having a little cookout and kind of going over everything. He just tells us he appreciates everything we've done.